Good afternoon and welcome back to Thai Talk with Dan. And a ho 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 and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all if I don't see you all again. Now, here on this channel we share a lot of stories from men who have had encounters, so to speak, with Thai women in this country, and they want to share their stories with all of you. And they do this in hope, and I say in hope, that you don't make the same mistakes as them. However, it always seems to be repeating itself time and time and time again. This story is another story about a broken-hearted foreigner that got involved with the wrong type of money-grabbing Thai woman. So without further delay, let's jump in to our December Thailand Christmas story. Good morning, Dan. Firstly, many thanks for your videos. They are great and please keep them coming. I've just returned to London after a 4-week break to Thailand, including Bangkok, Pattaya twice, and a 9-day break to Koh Samui. My background: I'm a relatively young-looking 42-year-old and a former CEO of a large UK company. Therefore, my financial position is very strong. A very good friend of mine from London has run several bars in Soi 6 and now Walking Street. For the last 7 years, I'm not really a fan of the go-go's, but prefer the normal beer and girly bars. I visited my friend during 3 visits over the last 5 years or so. Now, early after my arrival to Pattaya, I visited a bar on Soi 6 and was immediately drawn to a very beautiful girl. We got talking and of course the drinks started to flow. Initially, she said she was 22, however later in the conversation she admitted she was only 19. She said that she had only started working in the bar for 3 days and prior to that worked at a hotel carrying out a range of duties. I managed to confirm this from both the bar manager, who I know through my friend, together with date and time stamped pictures of her at the hotel and prior to that her college. I wanted to bar fine her. However, she said she had never been with a customer before and she was currently on her time of the month. I said I didn't mind as we could just go back to my hotel for a cuddle.
You're my girl.
She agreed, and that followed. Despite no nookie, I gave her a healthy tip in the morning. We had a great time just chatting and getting on. The following 3 days passed and I visited her in her bar. Some nights she was chatting with other customers as she was very pretty and popular. I accepted this and just moved on to other bars, and in doing so met a few more friends for drinks. She didn't go with any other guys as she would always text me to ask if she could come to my hotel room after she finished work. I then decided to ask her if she would like to join me for an all-expenses paid 9-day holiday to Samui. She agreed and was so excited. She also said I would need to pay the bar to release her for 9 days, which was a hefty 22,500 baht. She explained that her fee could wait until the end of our break and that amount was up to me. So, I paid the bar fee and took her to a lovely hotel. We ate at the best restaurants and went on a several-day boat experience together with shopping and karting. We also interrupted our stay for 1 night in Koh Phangan. All in all, we both had an amazing time. Each day, she said she loved me more and more. We did try to have nookie on one evening. She insisted on protection. However, as much as I tried, it was very painful for her, as she said It was her first time. I took great care not to upset her, and we did the best we could. It was still great. Other nights we would just play around without full nookie. This was fine with me, and I didn't want to do anything she was not completely comfortable with. She thanked me for this and kept saying I was the true gentleman who took really good care of her. She explained that she was only working at the bar until the 24th of November and thereafter return home to prepare for her studies next year at university. Although she said she didn't like the bar scene, it paid around 20,000 baht a month, more than her previous job at the hotel. This money was going to be used to fund her uni education. I offered to pay the difference if she wanted to return to the hotel now, but she said it was fine. I also offered to pay her uni fees for 3 years. Needless to say, she was very happy with this. After 9 lovely days in Samui with one of the most beautiful girls I've ever met, we returned to Pattaya. She went back to her bar and I checked into another hotel for my last week. The day we returned, I visited the bank and withdrew her discretionary fee, about 25,000 baht. I took that to her bar early that evening and we shared a few drinks together. Everything at this point seemed normal. I left her bar after about an hour and went to visit other friends in other bars I had met prior to Samui. Around 48 hours passed and she became very distant and her messages were very short and sweet. I suspected something was wrong, but I can't put my finger on it. I've texted her a couple of times over the last few days, although she's read the messages. No response. It's such a shame, as I really do care for her and wanted to return in March next year just to be with her. I still think about her and the lovely time we spent together constantly. I can't get her out of my head. I'm still racking my brain trying to determine what went wrong. Several conclusions I've come up with include the following. However, I would welcome your very sound opinion and advice. So, what was it? She found someone else shortly after we returned to Pattaya. She got caught up in the bar scene with her friends and put me down the list. She found out I was seeing a few other girls from different bars in Soi 6 and became annoyed. She just used me for the holiday and the cash, despite my offers of further financial assistance going forward. Your viewers' comments would be very welcome. Feel free to share my name and story on your great channel, Dan. All the very best, Steve. Right guys, now Steve sent that email last month and now, newsflash, we have an update which he recently just sent to me via email. So let's jump into this. Right Dan, now into an update which I'm happy for you to share on your channel, as if I can just save one guy from the pain I'm going through at the moment, it will be worth it. During the week between us returning from our Samui adventure and me returning to London, I met a number of different girls in Pattaya. Although a blur, too many gins, I took some back to my hotel. And on at least one occasion, I had unprotected nookie. Guys, I know what you're thinking, and I fully agree. Please read on, as I'm writing this mail from my hospital bed in the UK. On the 1st of December, about 3 weeks following my return to the UK, I started to develop excruciating joint and muscle pain across my entire upper body. The pain was so bad, I was vomiting and lost motion in many of my limbs. I obviously saw an emergency appointment with my GP to try to work out what the hell was wrong with me. She referred me straight away to the local hospital. After about 2 weeks now of daily hospital visits, daily blood tests, and daily antibiotics delivered intravenously, I was admitted into hospital yesterday as they were very worried about the levels of infection in my bloodstream. The latest diagnosis is as follows. It appears that during the week before returning, I had contracted an STI. They suspect chlamydia. I'm told by the consultants that for many people under the age of about 40, this infection often carries no symptoms. However, for gentlemen above the age, chlamydia can cause a reactive arthritis in up to around 6 or 7 major joints within the body, which can be debilitating for anything up to 18 months. Guys, please avoid the risks and wear protection. I really do wish I had. I'm now facing the prospect of spending Christmas in a lonely hospital bed in extreme pain, all for a couple of nights of fun. Take care, Dan, and I really hope your Christmas will be great with your son, Steve. I was thinking of a joke then, like at least he left Thailand with something to take back home, but I thought, might be a little bit distasteful. Very unlucky, not nice to be in a hospital bed for Christmas, but I'm sure within the comments a lot of people are going to say, well, if you have unprotected nookie, you're lucky that it was only that. You know, it could have been a hell of a lot worse, something that's going to last a lifetime, that could be a lot more serious. It can be very dangerous, guys. You know, at the end of the day, you're going to bed with women that have had probably more of the opposite sex than you have, a hell of a lot more, and some of them can be doing it a few times a day, and you've got to take that into account. And there is a lot of unprotected nookie that goes on here in Thailand, so do always wear protection. So at least Steve is putting that message out there to people that you don't want to be lying in a hospital bed just like him, just because you decided to not do it on one particular evening with one of those types of women. Right, now moving on from that, in regards to your question, Steve, you were speaking about why this woman kind of give you the cold shoulder. There could have been a few reasons, but also you've got to understand that she, like you said, is very beautiful. She's pretty. There's going to be guys hitting on her all the time. And there's going to be a lot of guys that give her false promises such as a monthly salary, a lump sum, taking her back to one of their countries. She'll have a lot of guys in line, and at the end of the day, all you did was give her that 25,000. Yeah, that wasn't enough for her. She wanted more than that. She wanted to see you commit by transferring those funds to help her. She was probably hoping for 3 years worth of money in one giant lump sum for her uni education, but it didn't get given. And if I was to guess, that had been my number one choice. And after that, I would basically state more than likely one of her old customers come back, or she just jumped on to someone new, and he was paying out. So she put a clause into him and stuck with him. It was either one of the two, mate. And it can be as simple as that. When you're coming over here on holiday, it's just a holiday. You have a bit of a romance on your holiday. There's a lot of countries you can go to have a bit of a romance. Just enjoy it for what it was. Take back home those memories and leave it at that and get on with your life. It was just a bit of fun on holiday. You had a great time. And a lot of guys that like to continue it on from that holiday experience with these types of women end up not having happy memories anymore in the long run. Yeah, at the end of the day, you can keep the happy memories that you had and just move forward, and nothing else severely bad happens to you, apart from your STI, that is, which I think you got from someone else. Right, guys, if you've got your own Thailand story and you do wish to share it on the channel with all our viewers, then please get your email sent in to thaitalkwithdan@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good Christmas if I don't see you again, and all the best for the new year. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.